a live reaction to, some of the most exciting stuff that one can find out about during the Comic Con weekend. Comic Con's going on, and right now there's a Marvel Studios panel happening. And I have a computer in front of me that is going to refresh me on all the latest developments within it, within the panel that is going on at Comic Con. So apparently they began with a Stan Lee narrated sizzle reel welcoming them back to Comic Con, followed by Miss Minutes welcoming everybody to the panel at the end of time. Oh shit! So they're really leaning into Loki and Kang, which is very exciting. The introducer is they introduce the moderator Ash Crossan, and then Kevin fucking Feige, the king himself, the man, the myth, the legend, the god, really, the god of modern superhero films. All right, so Feige reminded them of Phase 4, saying Wakanda Forever is the last Phase 4 film. So Wakanda Forever is coming out in, I think, November, and that is the end of Phase 4. Holy shit. Okay, all right. Let me see, what else? Is there any other information here? I'm sure they're going to show a Wakanda Forever trailer. Of course, I'm not going to be able to see that yet, but I'm sure by the time the panel's over, they'll show everything to us. They'll drop it all online. Yeah, no more updates yet. Okay, so from what I understand, okay, so D23 is coming up. D23 is the big Disney convention. I believe that's happening in September. They're going to save some stuff for then. So they're not going to give us everything today, but I have a feeling they're going to give us some things, because this is Comic-Con, this is like the first time we're back after 3 years, like really hard. Like they did one last year towards November, but it was sort of like San Diego Comic-Con light, right? This is the first official, we're back! And even though Marvel Studios was sort of phasing themselves out of Comic-Con panels, it's clear that this year they wanted to send a message like, hey, we want this to succeed. We are a part of this place. This place is a part of us. Like the legacy of Comic-Con is inextricably linked to the success of the MCU, right? So I have a feeling like they wanted to come back to Comic-Con to really kind of give a push for Comic-Con, and that obviously is a great thing for all of the fans. Okay, no new updates yet. Okay, so far we've got Wakanda Forever mentioned as the last Phase 4 film. So Phase 4, everything post Infinity War, Endgame, right? We had 2 Spider-Man films in Phase 4, which is wacky. Far From Home and No Way Home. We had all the Disney shows. We had WandaVision, Loki, Hawkeye, Miss Marvel, Moon Knight. So we had a lot of sort of setting up new characters, which is awesome. And then, of course, we had Doctor Strange 2. We had Thor: Love and Thunder. We had Shang-Chi. We had Black Widow. We had The Eternals. So a lot of sort of introducing us to new characters, introducing us to new aspects of the Marvel Universe that are clearly going to play into further phases, which this solidifies for me that Phase 4 is about kind of like a prologue, an epilogue to the Infinity Saga and a prologue to whatever's going to come next. It's a transitionary phase. I mean, it had to be. Like, you got off probably one of the greatest accomplishments ever in filmic storytelling, the Infinity Saga. Like, you gotta take a few steps back after that, and they did. And not everybody was excited about it. Oh, here we go. Phase 5. Ready, guys? Phase 5 will be Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, Secret Invasion, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Echo, the Disney Plus series that is about the deaf Native American surrogate daughter of the Kingpin. Daredevil's going to be in that, and so is the Kingpin. We got Loki Season 2 is coming after Echo. We got The Marvels. The Marvels will include Miss Marvel from the television show, Captain Marvel, and of course Photon is her name. Monica Rambeau from WandaVision. Okay, then we got Blade. Oh shit, Blade is coming after the Marvels. Oh my god, Blade is coming. Blade is coming soon. Ironheart, Riri Williams, who took on the mantle of Iron Man in the comics after Tony died temporarily. She will be introduced in Wakanda Forever, and then they're going to do a Disney Plus show, Ironheart, which will cover her. Is the Black Panther trailer coming tonight? I believe it is. Wakanda Forever should be debuting. It'll probably be one of the first things to debut. I'm going to assume Wakanda Forever, Quantumania, and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 will be previewed tonight in some way, shape, or form. I hope so. Okay, so after Ironheart, we got Agatha, Coven of Chaos. So they're no longer calling it House of Harkness. This is sort of a sidequel to WandaVision, taking Agatha Harkness. And the panel has already started. I'm actually looking at notes from it on Superhero Hype. They are live blogging it, so it already started. Okay, so we got Agatha, Coven of Chaos, Agatha Harkness introduced in WandaVision, and she's getting her own show. They're calling it Coven of Chaos, which I like. I like that. I like this. I like the title of it. You know, it's better than House of Harkness. It's like, okay, this shit ain't gonna be pretty. Really, bro? I didn't know that. So we could get a trailer soon. We could get a trailer for any of these things. Actually, well, Agatha, Coven of Chaos, likely not, because maybe it's not shot yet. Anyway, Agatha, Coven of Chaos, then Captain America, New World Order. Ooh, we got a subtitle for the new Captain America movie, New World Order. Oh shit! Oh my goodness! 18-episode Daredevil Born Again. Oh my god, this is fucking awesome! 18 episodes of Daredevil, and they're gonna adapt Born Again. Born Again is like one of his big stories. Wow, that's really exciting. And then on July 26, 2024, so that's like a year from now, that's going to end phase 5. 18 episodes, yeah, it's going to be fucking amazing. That's going to be like a long story, right? They have a big story. It's probably going to be half hour episodes, you would think, right? Anyway, so okay, so that's going to end phase 5. So phase 5 will run for a year, and everything I just mentioned will be in there. Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, Secret Invasion, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Echo, Loki, Season 2, The Marvels, Blade, Ironheart, Agatha, Coven of Chaos, Captain America, New World Order, Daredevil Born Again, and Thunderbolts. Jesus fucking Christ. I mean, it's just Marvel. And we haven't got any mutant stuff yet. Or have we? I'm thinking in the Marvels they're going to cover some of the mutant stuff. I'm sorry, I missed your last question there. Since I was getting a little bit excited by stuff. Okay, so here we go. The cast of She-Hulk Attorney at Law comes out next. So they came onto the stage. They're apparently there right now. Jamila Jamil, who is going to play... she's going to play the adversary of She-Hulk. I forget what the name is. But let me see. Let me try to pull up the chat over here so I can see any comments that I missed. Jamila Jamil is going to play. Yeah, I can do it here. Hello. Wait, let me turn that off. Okay. If it was 6 episodes, you would have rioted. Dark Side Beat said. Yeah, right. Like we need more story with these characters. Like, and I am happy overall. That I'm not complaining about the length because like I know more is coming, and I know that they're putting a lot of resources into these things, and a lot of it has been sort of like a beta test for them. So anyway, so they've got Jamila Jamil, who plays the adversary. I forget what the name of the character is on the She-Hulk show. Says Titania. Here we go. Jealousy makes Titania tick, as well as a desperate need for attention. So she's like most people. But Titania, that's the name of her character. She's extremely annoying, and I learned that from myself. Okay, so she's kind of quipping about playing the character of Titania. So clearly, they're right now focusing on She-Hulk Attorney at Law, which is very cool. I'm happy that they did not announce a new Avengers movie, and I'm happy they did not announce the mutants, anything related to mutants, because like I want that to be the main attraction, you know. And it's clear right now they kind of wanted us to tell they wanted to tell us, hey, we've got this much happening for the next year. This is what we've been doing. We're calling it Phase 4. It's ending here. So again, Wakanda Forever will end Phase 4. That's going to be in November. Phase 5 will begin, and then here's all the shows and movies that will be released. Excuse me, sorry. So July 26, 2024, not next year then. It's in 2 years. In 2 years, Phase 5 will end with the Thunderbolts film. So that's 2 years of, let me see how many movies. We got Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, The Marvels, Blade, Captain America New World Order. That's 5 movies. So we got 5 movies in the next in the next year and a half after Wakanda Forever, which comes out in November. So we have 5 movies that will be in Phase 5. And we've got Secret Invasion, Echo, Loki Season 2, The Marvels. I'm sorry, not The Marvels, sorry. Loki Season 2, Ironheart, Agatha Coven of Chaos, Daredevil Born Again, and Thunderbolts. That's 7 shows. We're going to have 7 shows that will be running through Phase 5 for the next year and a half. Okay, so that covers a lot of what sort of kind of the mystery of what is going to be happening next. Nothing is mentioned relating to the Eternals. Nothing is mentioned relating to Shang-Chi. What we saw at the end of Shang-Chi, no word on what's going to happen there. What we saw at the end of Eternals, no word on how that's going to implicate things. So it looks like they're kind of laying a lot of the groundwork even further in this Phase 5. They're going to expand out the Loki sort of mythology a bit more. So let me see. Quantumania is going to come out before before Loki Season 2. So we should get some developments with Kang in Quantumania, and then we'll get some developments with Loki Season 2. And I would imagine like that will be somewhat of the aftermath of that. Because, I mean, obviously we saw something happen at the end of Season 1 where the Time Variance Authority had changed, and the character that is involved in sort of trying to maintain the universe, He Who Remains, he's been killed by Sylvie, and therefore that changed the nature of the Time Variance Authority to what we don't know. How Ant-Man and Quantumania will factor into it, we don't know. But Kang did tell us at the end, He Who Remains did tell us at the end of Loki Season 2 that there are worse versions of him. So we can only imagine that we're going to get some really terrible people, some terrible versions of Kang coming in Ant-Man and Quantumania. All right, let me see if there's been any new updates. I'm assuming they're still talking to the cast of She-Hulk. Oh, no, here we go. So we've got... Hold on a minute. I think they showed the final trailer for She-Hulk. So they showed the final trailer for She-Hulk, so I'm gonna assume we're going to get that very soon. And apparently there's like a big cameo at the end of that. All right, so Colby Smulders comes out next. And then now they're talking about Secret Invasion. So Secret Invasion is the Disney Plus show. It'll take place between Endgame and Infinity War. I believe during the snap, or there'll be a lot of sort of callbacks to that period. And in that show, you have the sort of revelation that the Skrulls that we were introduced to in Miss Marvel, who can shape change, have infiltrated Earth to some extent. We don't know if it's nefarious or not, but they've infiltrated Earth, and they will be sort of revealing to us like which characters are potentially already Skrulls, which ones have already been taken over by the Skrulls that are on Earth, that again had a secret invasion during the blip period. So that is what they're talking about now. Colby Smulders is in it because she is part of Shield. She is, I forget her name. If somebody in the chat can help me out. Anyway, Nick Fury is going to be in it. So Nick Fury is either himself or, well, actually, no, he was snapped. So if this takes place during the snap, it's got to be Skrulls. The Skrulls that we saw in Miss Marvel that sort of took over, that are kind of playing in the place of Fury. It must be them, but they'll have the facades of Fury and what's her name from Shield. Anyway, so that's what they're talking about now. That's the show that's coming up soon, and that again is going to be part of the now Phase 5, the now called Phase 5, because for those of you just tuning in, Wakanda Forever in November will end Phase 4 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and Phase 5 will then begin. All right, so Colby Smulders. So she says it's an exciting thriller, and it'll be a guessing game who's a Skrull. So that's going to be, I think, like the big thing. Like, who's a Skrull, and how many Skrulls are there still in the universe post, Endgame? And if they have taken over some people that are prominent, that maybe we even saw in Endgame, like, what are the ramifications of that? Like, where are the real heroes that were replaced? So it'll be interesting because, like, what we saw in Captain Marvel was that the Skrulls were actually not terrible people, and the ones that were on Earth were helped by Miss Marvel and Nick Fury. And so you can imagine that they would maybe on Earth want to take the position of certain players to kind of help things along so that things don't fall apart, given that maybe they feel they owe something. So it might just be kind of that reverse thing going on in the storytelling of the MCU versus the comics, where the Skrulls are once again the good guys versus the bad guys, and we expect them to be the bad guys, but they're actually the good guys. So that may be happening once again. All right, no new updates yet. So we have, again, them going over now the Secret Invasion, the next Disney Plus show. That's going to be airing very soon. They haven't exactly told us when yet, but it will be airing very soon. Let me see. She-Hulk, I believe, is coming out next month. And so I think Secret Invasion will probably come out. So if She-Hulk comes out in September, then Secret Invasion should come out late October, November, maybe. So that's what we're looking at there. Wakanda Forever comes out in November. Yeah, MCU updates, Rakai. MCU update time. Wakanda Forever comes out in November, and that ends Phase 5. Is there anything? I'm sorry, Phase 4. Is there anything else in Phase 4 that I might be missing? I wonder. No, I think this kind of tails off the fourth phase of the MCU. Let's see. I doubt they're going to have any mutant announcements or revelations. So I doubt that's going to happen. Let me see. Okay, no new updates yet. All right, so delicious. So it's still relatively early in the panel. I forget how long the panel is going to go. Is it an hour or an hour and a half? I think it's an hour. I think they're definitely going to have more time during D23. I think D23 is when we're going to get like the real big mutant announcements. I don't know if they'll say anything today, but they might. Like at the very end, like they know we've been waiting so long for mutants, and that mutants were mentioned, spoilers, in the end of Miss Marvel. Miss Marvel is revealed to be a mutant, so you got to think, okay, this is Comic-Con, this is the big event, this is a big nerd event, like a bunch of X-Men fans are in the audience, there's probably a bunch of people dressed up as mutants. You got to think, okay, well then, maybe they'll just flat out tell people like, hey, we're doing this, and here's the name at least, you know. Maybe bring out an actor. That would be kind of cool. But some people are speculating that Deadpool might be mentioned because Deadpool 3 is in production. I'm sorry, in pre-production. But they just dropped Deadpool 1 and 2 on Disney Plus, which are R-rated. And they are the first R-rated movies on Disney Plus now. So clearly they're making a big push for Daredevil this weekend. So you got to think that maybe they'll drop some Daredevil news or something, you know. Maybe some people are speculating that they'll bring out Wolverine, which would be wacky. Onto either Terrence Egerton, who's like a rumored actor, or potentially Hugh Jackman with Ryan Reynolds potentially. So Rakai Thway has asked, so if mutants are a new thing in the MCU, how are characters like Logan, Apocalypse, Selene, and older mutants going to fit in if they're new? I know. So my thinking is this, like, the Krakoan world that's been set up in the comics, this nation of mutants, has already been established. At some point, Emma Frost or some other powerful telepaths had to wipe out everybody's memory of mutants and the existence of the nation. So I think that that's maybe what happened. At some point, everybody lost their knowledge of there even being mutants on Earth. And the mutants have existed on their island nation since. And whenever mutants pop up, they approach them, and maybe they either get them to come to Krakoa, their nation, or they wipe their memory and they turn off their power, potentially. This is just me speculating, but that for me would make the most sense if they're already mutants, which there appear to be in the MCU. Okay, so new update. Peyton Reed introduces Kathy Newton, Paul Rudd, and Evangeline Lilly. So they're covering Ant-Man Quantumania, which is going to be apparently the first film of Phase 5 of the MCU. Let me see. Reed says, we finally spend time in the quantum realm. Okay, so we're going to be spending time in the quantum realm, finally, in Ant-Man 3, so that's pretty cool. And we meet a lot of new characters. Okay, so a lot of new characters are going to be introduced. That's always fun. Scott, per Reed, is pretty pleased with himself and his role in saving the universe. Okay, so yeah, that's right. We haven't seen Ant-Man. We haven't seen Ant-Man since Endgame, right? Right, we have not seen Ant-Man. Okay, so we're sort of getting his kind of post-Endgame storyline, and apparently he's very proud of himself for helping to save the universe. So Rakai, you said, speaking of Krakoa, I just read Hellfire Gala 2022 today. Cool. Read that, I think, on Wednesday. For some reason, it felt like the X-Men were doing damage control, and I call it Hellfire Gala the Apology. That's an interesting sort of thing. It's like, I guess because, like, this is a pretty big revelation to the world that mutants can resurrect themselves. And I think if you're going to have that kind of circumstance, like, the world's going to have to process it. And the Hellfire Gala just happened to be taking place during that time. Because, like, I mean, we saw that funny-ass panel at the beginning where Emma Frost was, like, reading about Cyclops going public with their resurrection, with the fact that they can resurrect themselves. And she was like, this is how you choose to fuck me? That was fucking classic, man. That was one of the great fucking X-Men comic moments. But I mean, yeah, it's just, it all kind of coalesced into that. And, like, it had to be, they had to give the apology to the world. Because, like, or whatever you want to call it. Because, like, I mean, well, first of all, they have diplomatic relations with other countries, so, and there's also the whole thing of, like, well, they're sharing these life extending drugs with the world, but at the same time, like they're keeping, like, eternal life to themselves, so that all that dynamic has to play out publicly because it's important, I also got the impression that canonically none of the characters wanted to be there for some reason. Like, it was everyone just giving Emma and the mutants a hard time. Hey, so be it. Sounds good to me. I mean, whatever. In the end, like, the mutants get to choose their X-Men team and show off. And, like, and they know that it's, that there's like this level of pride to what they've accomplished. And whether or not the world likes it or doesn't like it or whatever, like, they like it. And I don't know. I'm really enjoying the fact that they're just kind of like, they're I guess, a good way of putting it is they're just feeling themselves. You know, the mutants are feeling themselves. All right, let's see if there's any updates from Hall H. Okay, so nope, no new updates yet. So they're covering again, like kind of like the stuff we were very familiar with, right? She-Hulk first, and then we had Secret Invasion. Secret Invasion we weren't too familiar with. I'm not sure the blog that I'm reading on Superhero Hype, by the way, is did not mention that there was any footage from Quantumania. Maybe they showed them production stills or something of that sort, but there's no mention of footage. So we have no Secret Invasion footage. We have She-Hulk footage. Maybe they're showing them a Quantumania trailer. I would think that they would show a Quantumania trailer, you know? But if they're going to show the Wakanda Forever trailer, maybe that's the one that they want to focus on, because that's the next one coming up. They got to show, they got to really blow people away with this, because obviously this is a very sensitive film that they made, because they left out, obviously, Chadwick Boseman. I mean, unfortunately, they had to rework the film after he passed away. You know, rest in peace. Like, that guy was fucking amazing. He had a terrible end. We saw him in pain in the film on Netflix. I forget the name of it. Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Oh, man, his performance in that. But you saw that, like, there was real pain in what he was saying, because I think, like, he just felt the pain of, like, of knowing that his mortality was there. You know, anyway, not to bring things down, but, like, the poor guy passed on, and they had to make Black Panther 2 without him, and they're calling it Wakanda Forever. It's going to be about Wakanda. Obviously, Shuri, the Okoye, the Dora Milaje are going to be important. Lupita Nyong'o's character is going to be important. So all of that is going to be like on Front Street. I'm wondering, are they going to do it between, you know, during the blip? Because it would make sense to do it during the blip, because that's when that's when Black Panther was dead. And then we come back, and then maybe we get like a multiversal version of Black Panther. Because obviously at the end of Endgame, we saw Black Panther alive. We saw Chadwick Boseman alive. How do you explain that, you know? Did he just die off screen? Is he somewhere else? You know, like, it's unclear. Like, maybe the multiversal things that are happening. Because, like, in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, at the very end, spoilers, it's revealed that an incursion has been caused. Realities have started to crash into each other. So maybe we're starting to get those incursions like we did in the comics, where like one incursion causes another, and then there's this sort of like snowball effect, which ultimately causes all realities to crash into themselves and all of reality across the multiverse to crumble. And then ultimately this new weird patchwork planet, which was called Battle World, that was formed by Doctor Doom, emerged, and then from that we got like this sort of new universe that was born from it. So it's sort of the Crisis on Infinite Earths sort of thing that DC did back in the 70s. So maybe incursions are happening. Maybe we'll get that new Black Panther from another alternate universe at some point, and this movie will just take place during the blip, and we won't even have to deal with Chadwick Boseman's death, if indeed universe-altering stuff happens. Okay, so here we go. Okay, some more Quantumania stuff. Peyton Reed introduces... Okay, got that. We'll also see the fragilities of hope, says Lily Newton. Says Lily. I don't know who Lily... Oh, Evangeline Lilly. Okay. Newton, Catherine Newton, I don't know who that is, says Cassie is just becoming who she's supposed to be, like we all are. Okay, so this Catherine Newton is his daughter. That's who that's who that is. Okay, so she's in the movie. Clearly, she's going to take on the mantle of whoever she is in Young Avengers. I'm not a Young Avengers person, so I don't know all the specifics. And then they showed them a clip. They showed an exclusive Hall H clip. It begins with Scott doing a book tour for his autobiography. Hilarious. Then getting a call that Casey has been arrested. His daughter's been arrested. There's a tense family dinner, and Hank and Janet mocking Scott. Okay, so there's some like fun stuff with Michael Douglas, Hank Pym, and Janet Van Dyne, who is Michelle Pfeiffer. Awesome, she's back. Then something emerges from the quantum realm, sucking them all in. Oh shit! Oh my god, it's got to be Kang, right? There's a whole civilization down there, seemingly led by Bill Murray, but also MODOK, and finally Kang. This is the guy on Superhero News describing what he watched in that exclusive clip. And finally Kang, whose costume here looks like Mysterio, sends the helmet. So this guy doesn't know who Kang is, clearly. Green armor and cape, that's Kang, baby. Like, if you don't know Kang, you gotta know Kang. Well, you're gonna know Kang. But we also see some security who look like Kang with blue faceplates. Okay, so Kang emerges from the quantum realm, sucks in all of the heroes from the Ant-Man universe, and Kang appears to have like an army. Okay, so this is all obviously post-Loki. Kang already exists in the multiverse. Because remember, what happened at the end of Loki happened outside of time. And the minute it happened, the multiverse happened. And so a multiverse has existed since that point. And if you think back on linear time in the MCU, for that Loki variant, what happened in Loki season 1 at the end happened only a few days after the Battle of New York. So, sorry, I forgot to charge my phone. So let me just plug in my charger. Oh, there we go. All right, that'll make sure that the stream will be able to be maintained throughout the entire panel. Okay, so what happened at the end of Loki in linear time happened just a little bit after the Battle of New York. So a multiverse has existed in the MCU ever since that moment. And so Kang, who is now like a multiversal like threat, will exist in various forms throughout the multiverse from that point forward. And at some point, he must have built an army in the quantum realm. And that apparently is what sort of is maybe the catalyst for whatever happens in Quantumania, based on this clip that they were just able to see on the Hall H panel, which I am responding to because I'm watching the live stream the live blogging that the superhero hype blogger is updating us on, because he's actually in Hall H. This is how I've always sort of kept up with Hall H big events as they happen throughout the years, because I've never been able to go to Hall H. And even if I did go to Comic-Con, I don't think I would want to wait in a long line for days. You know, maybe if they gave you like an electronic a place in line, that I think would work better than people actually camping out and shit for multiple days. Like, I don't want to go through that. It's not worth it to me. It's just not worth it. LaCroix. All right. Let me see. Any new updates? No new updates. So again, they are currently going over the Ant-Man and the Wasp footage / question and answer session with some of the cast and Peyton Reed, the director, who, interestingly enough, like, I'm surprised they brought him back, honestly, because, like, I guess he's a big dork, and he's really into Marvel, and he is talented, but I didn't feel like Ant-Man 2 was great. But in fact, I feel like it's one of the like least great films of the MCU. It's fine. I haven't really gone back to it, but I guess I would. And maybe if Quantumania is good, maybe I'll go back to it more. But I thought that maybe they'd move on and go to a different director. But it's fine. I mean, it should be interesting. Having him deal with the quantum realm specifically, and having Kang to work with as well, and sort of exploring the quantum realm visually, I think is going to be very cool. I know that in the first Ant-Man film, Edgar Wright was going to be the guy sort of directing it initially. I think there's an issue there because I think a lot of what we saw in Ant-Man 1 that was really kind of visually striking, I feel like that was like storyboarded by him versus Peyton Reed. And so that's kind of why Ant-Man 1 seemed better than it actually was. I'm being a little bit critical of Peyton Reed right now. It's fine though. Like I'm sure he'll redeem himself with Quantum Mania and everything will be fine. So for those of you that are just catching up now, we have been told that Phase 4 is ending with Wakanda Forever, and that Phase 5 will will include Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantum Mania, Secret Invasion, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Loki Season 2, the Marvels, Blade, Ironheart, Agatha, Coven of Chaos, Captain America, New World Order, 18-episode Daredevil Born Again show, and Thunderbolts. So if that's going to be Phase 5, Thunderbolts is going to debut July 26, 2024. So Phase 5 will begin toward the end of this year after Wakanda Forever, and it will last for about a year and a half. And you got to assume that, like, by the time we get to the next Avengers, the next phase, that's when it'll all sort of converge to like the next Avengers film and maybe the mutants. Who knows? That's the sort of stuff that I expect to find out more about. Again, on the D23 panel, which is happening in September. All right, so let me see if there's been any new updates from Hall H. Let me check on my field correspondent. Oh, here we go. James Gunn came out. James Gunn came out to say Guardians 3 is the end of the story for his team. Oh. So that might mean that we'll get a new Guardians team and then a new creative team behind it as well. And maybe James Gunn will... I know he's doing some more DC stuff, but maybe he'll come back and he'll do just maybe some cooler shit like that he wants to do and not just be tied down to just Guardians. So you've got James Gunn. So that's going to be the end of the team. And then he showed the first trailer. Holy shit. Then he showed the first trailer. A beefier adult Groot. An origin for Rocket. Adam Warlock. We got Variant Gamora leading her own Ravagers. And then we've got Chukwudi Iwuji looking villainous in space armor. So I don't know who that is, but I'm sure it's interesting. Maria Bakalova will be Cosmo the space dog. So funny. Maria Bakalova is in fact the person that was in the Borat second film. She's hilarious. I heard that she was going to be in Guardians, so this is awesome that she is going to actually be voicing the space dog, which is hilarious. I believe we saw a space dog in the collector's room during Guardians 1. So that's pretty cool that we're actually going to get that little bit, that little extra tidbit of that weird dog that seems to be a fan favorite amongst people that I just do not know because I'm just not familiar with that. So hopefully they'll drop that Guardians of the Galaxy 2 trailer pretty soon. So far we've got, I think, the last She-Hulk trailer. They've shown them, so they're probably going to show us. They showed an Ant-Man exclusive clip that they're probably not going to show us. But again, I did describe it earlier. And then, which basically involves all of the Ant-Man crew. They're at a table and they get sucked into the quantum realm, and it's Kang, freaking Kang. And then they dropped this Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 trailer, which I'm sure we're going to see as well because we've all been waiting for it. So hopefully we will get a view of that coming up. Let's see if there's been... Oh, the cast comes out. This is the first time they've seen it, but are not revealing much. Okay, so they've seen it. So the movie's just been edited, probably. So that's pretty exciting to have the cast themselves also sort of react to things, you know, for the first time and kind of get that fresh reaction. They maybe just showed it to them. That's really cool. I like that a lot. Because they get that fresh sort of energy of like, wow, here's all of our hard work for like a year in like 2 hours. I mean, I think moments like that are awesome. I love that they managed to capture that magic at Comic-Con. Bye bye. All right, so let's see if there's any new updates. I don't know if this is an hour. Is this an hour? Like, okay, no new updates yet. So exciting stuff so far. But again, like for me, I think it's clear what I'm looking for. Am I going to get it today? I really hope so. I really hope Kevin Feige kind of drops a couple of bombs towards the end. I mean, we've known that Fantastic Four is coming out. Maybe something related to Fantastic Four will be revealed. Maybe not. Hoping not, honestly, because like I kind of want the Fantastic Four to have their own moment at Disney, the D23 convention. You know, just kind of focus on that there, and let like this newer these last phases and like these newer characters kind of get their moment to shine here at Marvel at the Marvel panel at Comic-Con for the first Marvel comic panel, first Marvel Universe panel since like 2019, really. So, you know, like that needs to kind of ruminate. There's so much going on now. It's like it's not even like a joke anymore. It's just like, my God, there's so much stuff that they're getting out. There's like so much story being told, so many hours of enjoyment. And ultimately for the studio, like they have to be very strategic in how they're going to promote things. You know, they can't have things being overshadowed by other things. Everything has its moment, everything has its place. So that's why I don't have huge hopes for much in many revelations with respect to Fantastic Four and X-Men. But we'll see, you know, we'll see what happens there. All right, let me see if there's been any new updates. Chukwudi Iwuji is the High Evolutionary, and he shows up in costume. Oh my God! Wait, let me look at this Chukwudi Iwuji guy. First of all, the High Evolutionary is like this weird fucking character in Marvel Comics that likes to tinker with people's genetics, and he makes like human animal hybrids. He's kind of like the Dr. Moreau of the Marvel universe. Let me look at this guy and see who he is. The actor playing him, and let me see if there's any images. If anybody's posted any images yet. Okay. Oh, I know who this guy is. So, Chukwudi Iwuji is the guy that played like the head of the team going after the aliens in Peacemaker. That was revealed to be an alien himself. Okay, let me see. Let me see if they have a High Evolutionary. It makes sense that he would be. Well, I mean, that was a James Gunn movie. That was a James Gunn show. This is a James Gunn movie. It makes sense that he would use him because James Gunn is one of these directors that likes to have his people, right? Like his cast, like Mel Brooks and Martin Scorsese. You know, they kind of have like their people. Let me see if there's any photos of him. No official photos yet of the High Evolutionary. Just photos of him in the comics, side by side with the actor. Okay, so we got the High Evolutionary. This is very odd. I mean, the High Evolutionary plays a role on Earth, but I know he also plays a role like intergalactically. I don't know his origin too well. Let me see if I can do a quick Wikipedia. Let me see. So, High Evolutionary. Okay, so his name is Herbert Edgar Widham. I don't want fictional character biography. Let's. Okay, so he was born in Manchester, England. While a student at Oxford in the 1930s, he took an interest in the work of genetic biologist Nathaniel Essex, Mr. Sinister, holy shit, and began experimenting with genetic manipulation. So Mr. Sinister is kind of like his mentor. And building a machine that he called the genetic accelerator, with which he attempted to evolve the rats in his mother's London basement. While attending a genetics conference in Geneva, Wyndham was approached by a mysterious man who was in truth the outcast Inhuman geneticist Fader. Okay, so he has a connection to an Inhuman, so we may see an Inhuman in Guardians 3, who handed to him papers containing blueprints for cracking the genetic code. Oh, so he was assisted by a rogue Inhuman. He was given the genetic code, which then allowed him to highly evolve, you would assume. So with this information to bolster his experiments, Wyndham successfully developed a serum he dubbed Isotope A. Although expelled from the university for his single-mindedness, he finally succeeded in evolving his pet Dalmatian Dempsey into a humanoid life form with the intelligence of a chimpanzee. However, Dempsey was shot by poachers, and Wyndham realized that such creatures that he would create would have no place in the human world. In partnership with scientist Jonathan Drew, father of Jessica Drew, Wyndham moved his experiments to the seclusion of Wundagore Mountains, baby. We saw Wundagore in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, baby. Assembling a citadel of science designed by German scientist Horace Grayson and built by Moloid slaves supplied by Fader, the pair continued their experiment until Drew's daughter fell ill from uranium poisoning and was placed in suspended animation to save her. Okay, so there's just a lot of stuff going on here, but that we're dealing with the High Evolutionary. So he comes from Earth. He's a crazy geneticist. He's got a crazy backstory in the comics. Clearly, they'll water that down when they adapt him into Guardians 3. So it's just going to be interesting to see what they do with the character. And like, obviously, James Gunn is going to have a comedic sort of spin on him, so that's going to be hilarious. Rakai Thway, any updates regarding Marvel action figures? This is Marvel. This is the Marvel Studios panel. So the action figure stuff I think already happened on the floor of the con. So you could probably look up like all the ones that were revealed at the con, all the newest action figures and whatnot. All right, so I'm looking for new updates here. Okay, so Phase 6. Okay, wait, hold on. What's going on? They're giving updates on Phase 6. So the cast comes out. So he's perfect. No, that's not going to work. Okay, so they talked a little bit more about the High Evolutionary. He gives a speech in character about he wants to enhance low-life scum into something less genetically reprehensible. Okay. We inspire him so vomitous. His goal is to create the perfect species, and he cannot wait to dissect. Okay, so he's just a crazy scientist, basically. Okay, so then remember they talked about Phase 5 ending next summer. I'm sorry, the summer of July. So then they mentioned that Phase 6 will end with Avengers: The Kang Dynasty. So Kang is major. Kang is not just being set up for Quantumania. Clearly, Kang is the big bad. So if they're going to have an Avengers film called The Kang Dynasty, Kang is only going to continue to become this bigger and bigger threat, which is awesome. That's exactly what we expected to happen. I'm glad they didn't just kind of neuter him and sideline him and put him in Quantumania. Like, they legitimately gave him like the big role he deserves, and he is going to be the big bad. And then we're going to have Avengers Secret War. So it seems to me that will end the multiverse saga. Okay, so that will end the multiverse saga. So that means the multiverse saga is not over by a long shot. It's going to continue through Phase 6. So the next three, including Phase 4 that we are almost done with, and Phase 5 and Phase 6, we are telling the multiverse saga. And you got to imagine that the incursions are going to continue to happen. Universes are going to continue to crash into each other. And eventually, Kang is going to be partly responsible for that. We're going to have Avengers: The Kang Dynasty that will end Phase 6. So that'll probably be in like 3 years. And then you're going to have Avengers Secret War. So I'm assuming this is going to be like a two-part type of thing. I'm going to assume that all the universes will crash into themselves at the end of Avengers Kang Dynasty. And then Secret Wars will be an adaptation of a loose adaptation of Jonathan Hickman's Secret Wars from 2015 that will ultimately allow all of the universes to collide and become one, and we'll have a unified universe moving forward. I'm going to assume that in Phase 6, we're going to introduce mutants and the Fantastic Four. Maybe in their separate universe, and then all the universes will collide. Maybe, maybe not. Actually, no. Now that they've introduced mutants in Miss Marvel, that doesn't necessarily work. So what is clearly being established here is that there is a multiversal saga that is happening and is ongoing through the next two phases after this one, which is very exciting. And so, yeah, it looks like we have a lot to... I'm surprised they announced 2 new Avengers films. That's pretty big time. I guess we were all hoping for it. Like, clearly everything that's been happening are all building blocks to whatever's going to happen in these 2 Avengers films. It's a multiversal saga. We started the multiversal saga with No Way Home. Far From Home. In Far From Home, you had the mention of a multiverse, but that was never clearly established to be something legitimate. Then in the Spider-Man No Way Home, we finally got the multiverse. And then Doctor Strange, multiverse. Wanda is still around somewhere. You got to imagine, right? America Chavez is going to play a huge role in this multiversal saga. And Quantum Mania, I'm sure we'll touch upon it. Loki touched upon it significantly. So everything that's been happening has been about kind of building up this multiversal saga that they're telling, and they're calling it the Multiverse Saga. So the first 3 phases were the Infinity Saga, and these are the Multiverse Saga, which is very exciting. It's a great way to bring in all the characters from the Fox universe that were left out of the first few phases. It's a great way to introduce a bunch of characters. It's a great way to set up a mechanism that will keep this world going indefinitely, the franchise going indefinitely, right? You need these mechanisms to kind of keep being able to tell stories. When actors move on, when people get tired of certain versions of things, you can just reboot it in an alternate universe. It's really awesome that they're able to have this mechanism and really flesh it out over the course of 3 phases. I mean, that's the kind of storytelling that I expect from Kevin Feige. For him to be so dedicated to the multiversal concept and to flesh it out over 3 phases, over its own saga, I think is fantastic. I think it's exactly what I would expect from the architect of the Infinity Saga. He is setting this up to not only be a success now, but to be a success indefinitely. And I give mad props to him for that. He is everything that is good within sort of the geek sphere, within the filmmaking sphere, within just overall like the engine of IP within Hollywood. Like he is everything he is the promise of everything that came before realized, and it's really awesome. All right, let me see if there's been any new updates. Okay, so a big drum ensemble led by vocalist Baba Mal play us Wakanda-style music. Oh, dope. Okay, so now they're going into Wakanda Forever to seg into Wakanda Forever. Now Ryan Coogler's out. Okay, so Ryan Coogler comes out. He's the director of Black Panther, Fruitvale Station, Creed, USC film grad. I'm a USC film grad, so props to my fellow Trojan. Love the guy. So happy for his success. Love his filmmaking. I have all the faith in the world that he is going to deliver something special in Wakanda Forever. So that's going to be awesome. I hope they drop a trailer today. I want to see this trailer. I want to finally see the footage. I want to finally find out what is happening. I'm sure we're going to find out some really important revelations right now on what is going on in Wakanda Forever and how they're dealing with the death of Chadwick Boseman. No more updates yet. Wakanda Forever, again, is going to end Phase 4. Then we're going to have Phase 5, several films, several TV shows on Disney+. Then we're going to end that July 24th, 2024 with the Thunderbirds. The Thunderbirds are the Thunderbolts. Sorry, the Thunderbolts are they're basically like Marvel's The Suicide Squad, like villains getting together and being like a team. And it seems as though that's what Elaine from Seinfeld's been doing, sort of behind the scenes. She's been putting together the Thunderbolts, kind of as a counterbalance to the Avengers, because like anyway, that we'll find out why later, of course. So that will end Phase 5, and then we're gonna have Phase 6, and then that will end with Avengers, the Kang Dynasty, and then Avengers Secret Wars. I mean, that is so exciting. That is just the most exciting thing to just think about. Like, oh, we're leading up to 2 more Avengers films. I hope. So with Back to the Future, parts 2 and 3, they released one during the summer and one during the winter. So we'd have to wait a whole year to kind of resolve like a big cliffhanger. Hopefully that's going to be the same here. Like we're going to get like these 2 Avengers films that will likely come out in 2025, I'm thinking, or 2026 potentially, or maybe one is 2025 and the other one is 2026. But it's still, we're likely going to get them a year apart, and I would prefer them to be, closer together, but whatever. Sounds like they're really invested in this Disney Plus stuff, is what Rakai Thway said. And yeah, dude, like, totally invested. Like, I mean, Disney Plus is a cash cow for Disney, and I'm sure that they've realized how much revenue they could raise, and if they keep putting out content that has people talking, like it's a successful thing. It's an engine of success. Like, why would you put that behind you? All right, so anything new yet? No. So right now it's still Ryan Coogler. He's out, the director of Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, talking to the crowd. I'm going to assume is going to drop a trailer pretty soon. Again, they mentioned that Wakanda Forever is going to finish off Phase 4 of the MCU. That's coming up in November. So this is a big moment for Wakanda, for Black Panther, for this movie. So I look forward to seeing what they're going to do with it, and obviously the trailer that is likely to drop tonight. So excited for that. What's up? Maybe I'll do a live reaction. Maybe I won't. We'll see. Let me see if there's been another update here. Oh, here we go. Ooh, okay. Okay. Now Coogler's out, and thanks cheers for the late Chadwick Boseman and his enormous hands. So there's sort of a lightening of the moment of mentioning Chadwick Boseman, which is going to be somber no matter how you look at it. Coogler describes the movie as a roller coaster that goes to new corners of the MCU. Very exciting. Maybe Krakoa? Oh, definitely Atlantis. We're going to bring in Namor. That's the big sort of rumor, but it looks like that's happening. And Namor and Atlantis are going to have like these Aztecan roots, which is very interesting. I know why they did that. Clearly, it's like, if not, then it's just Atlantis and it's Aquaman again. So they got to differentiate it. Plus, you're bringing in some of that Latin culture, some of that indigenous culture into it, which is always a great thing. Okay. So then Coogler brings out Lupita Nyong'o, who plays Okoye? No, not Okoye. Nikita. Then we've got Letitia Wright, who plays Shuri Denai Guerrera, who plays Okoye. Excuse me. Florence Kasuma, I believe, might be the other Malaje that we also saw, that we met in Civil War. And then we saw her in Black Panther, but then we saw her in Falcon and Winter Soldier, so I believe that's her. And Winston Duke, who played, what's his name? The dude. So he's in this. Then new cast, including Tenoch Huerta as Namor. Okay, so he's out. Tenoch Huerta, this is the guy playing Namor. He's out in the crowd. He's been introduced. They're talking openly about Namor. It's very exciting. As someone who is Latino, I really am not feeling the change to Namor McKenzie being named Latino. I mean, why? Because there's no like big Latin lore in the Marvel universe. Like, you know, Stan Lee and the other creators, like they took moments to kind of bring about different raced characters than white characters throughout the decades, but clearly, like, you know, like there's just a big sort of established sort of racism that just was everywhere during these time periods, and so people were just not down for stories about these characters. So I'm assuming just like to get like a really strong Latin mythology entrenched within the Marvel universe and the comics, just it never got its chance, you know, because of how, you know, racist and exclusionary everything was. You know, you got Black Panther, you got one character, you got Luke Cage. I mean, you get a few black characters, but you know there weren't really a lot of Latin characters. There's Shang-Chi, who represents one Asian character, but there wasn't a lot back then. And like now, it just makes sense for them to kind of do things a little differently in the MCU, to have a little bit more representation, to have like that Latin representation that maybe to you might not resonate as authentic, but to, you know, some kids that are seeing these movies and are growing up with them, they're gonna have like these characters to look up to, and it's I think it's a good thing. I understand this whole this sort of the chasm between what's in the comics and what they're representing, and how, you know, how jarring that could be, but I'm willing to process it because I'm all for what the ultimate push of what they're doing is. Nolan, Lauren Marvel, White Tiger, Hector Ayala, Ava Ayala. See, those I don't even know what those are, and I'm a Marvel stan. I'm a Marvel person. I don't even know who they are. So, and I'm Latin myself. I'm half Latin, so I don't even know who those characters are. So there's not enough. Like there hasn't been enough. Like obviously, like knew about these characters. I didn't. I've never heard of them. They've never been talked about in any of the books that I've read. So there's just not enough. And now we're getting a little something extra. And I think it's going to be a good thing. And I have every faith in the people that created Black Panther, the movie, created the culture of Wakanda, etc., to do an exceptional job, just building out the Namor, Aztecan sort of, you know, underwater civilization. So seriously, you're half Latin, dude. I pegged you for being 100% Caucasian. I'm Colombian, but yeah, I'm half Argentinian, dude. Yeah. All right. Good to meet a Colombian. Love the Colombians. I've a couple of great friends that are Colombians. Let me see if there's any new updates. Nope, no new updates yet. Yeah, so I mean, nope, no new updates yet. I'm excited for seeing Namor represented, however they're going to represent him. He is also a mutant. So, you know, you've got Miss Marvel, who's now a mutant. You've got Namor, who's a mutant. So and he's an old mutant, right? Like he's been around for a very long time. So maybe these are like doorways into mutantdom. There's been rumors of Storm popping up in Wakanda Forever. I don't believe it. But if they were to bring her in, that would be very interesting. It would be another doorway into like mutants. Again, like I would have to assume that there's a Krakoa already, and that Namor knows about it, you know, because like it would be on the seas obviously, and he would be aware of it. And being a mutant himself, like they would have talked to him about it. You know, they would have tried to make him involved. So. Let me see. Let me see if I can find any new updates. No new updates. All right. So far, I'm pretty excited about like what we're learning here. We've got Phase 4 ending. We've got Phase 5. We've got Phase 6. We've got the next maybe 3 to 4 years worth of storytelling being hinted at. I'm assuming the Phase 6 stuff is what they're saving for D23, and that's going to involve Fantastic Four and the mutants. Whether they call it the X-Men, whether they call it mutants, whether they call it whatever the fuck they call it, it's going to be mutants. So, I mean, clearly we are building up to that. And so I'm looking forward to that. Let me see if there's any updates here. No updates yet. I'm just going to take a quick 2-minute break to run to the restroom. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Let me see if there's been any new updates. Ooh. Updates. Okay, okay, I come from the hood. Without inclusion, I wouldn't be here, said Huerta, the guy playing Namor. Um, he thanks everybody in Spanish. I mean, that's pretty cool. You know, like you're not gonna get a prominent Latin hero. Like they had to make Namor in Latin. I'm totally for that. Um, Latin X would be the correct way to say that. Oh, Dominique Thorne as Ironheart. That's the girl playing Ironheart. I don't know if she is there. They did not mention if she was there. Let me check on some more updates here. I just think it's a really special moment in the MCU. Black Panther was such an important movie. I cannot stress enough how important that movie is. It's just so important. It's such a milestone, you know, because like it wasn't it was success all on its own, you know, like Kevin Feige gave it all the resources it needed. They gave it the all black cast that it needed, mainly all black cast. He brought in a director who has reverence for, you know, the black struggle, understands it, can resonate through his filmmaking, like an authenticity about that experience, and to celebrate the black experience, you know, in Wakanda in the way that it was represented in the story, and then ultimately, it was everybody, all the fans, but the black community as well, who made that movie the mega hit that it is. And it's just that movie is just it's a milestone in Hollywood, you know. I think it's like a turning point, and I think it holds so much importance. And for them to use the sequel, given that poor Chadwick Boseman passed on, to sort of try to elevate another, you know, traditionally excluded group, Latinx folks, I think is a wonderful thing. And like clearly this Huerta guy, he says like, I come from the hood. Without inclusion, I wouldn't be here. So he himself is pointing out that that is what allowed him to, you know, have a role that's so prominent. Because clearly Namor is a big character, and we ain't gonna see the last of Namor in this. Namor has been part of the Illuminati in the comics, so you got to imagine if they're gonna form an Illuminati in Earth 616, which is the MCU main reality, then you're gonna get Namor in there. You know, you're gonna get Doctor Strange. You're gonna get Professor X if he exists. You're gonna get Black Bolt. Ugh, the Inhumans. Ugh. You're gonna get Reed Richards, because he's around somewhere. All right, let me see if there's any new updates here. No new updates. All right, so I love these panels. I love these moments. I'm so happy to be having another one of these Comic-Con moments, because it's been a long time. It's been a few years. Like, the pandemic really kind of screwed everything up. And even before then, like I mentioned at the beginning, like Marvel was starting to separate itself from Comic-Con, because, you know, they have D23. Like they don't want to be giving away like their hottest information. They don't want to be competing against other big companies. Fortunately, DC shit the bed this morning and didn't bring out the fire. You know, they brought out Shazam, Fury of the Gods, which is cool. They brought out Black Adam, which, hey, you know, The Rock. Who doesn't like The Rock? But, you know, there was no, like, meat, you know what I mean? No real meat. No updates yet. They must be watching the trailer. Like, they got to be watching the trailer. Unless they're just having, like, Q&As with the cast, you know, and having like the audience, you know, have their moments, you know, because the audience at Comic-Con is like a special audience. Like these things mean so much to these people. When they go up and ask questions, they get all teary. It just makes my heart tingle. It makes my heart tingle, because like it's like these are the people that truly fucking care about this shit, you know? And I love those people. And if you're out there and you're watching this video, I love you. I love you. All right, let me see. Okay, here we go. He thanks everybody in Spanish. By the way, Namor is amazing. It's time to reveal the trailer. Oh! Looks like we will get a new Panther, and the body type looks male, but it does not reveal who. Namor and Atuma look like tough opponents for Wakanda. Atuma, that's who is Atuma? I forget who Atuma is. He's one of the adversaries for Black Panther. I'm pretty sure. Okay, no more updates yet. So they're clearly showing the trailer. That means it's going to be dropped. That means I'm going to be able to see it pretty soon. So maybe I'll throw it on in a second, but I want to make sure that... let me see if I can access... let me see... Doop. Oh my god. Okay, so we okay. Let me get... screw it. I'm just going to play it. All right, so I'm gonna watch the trailer for Wakanda Forever. You're gonna be able to hear it. No, you're not gonna be able to hear it. I have Bluetooth headphones connected. Let me see. Where did I put those guys? No. No. Okay, let me disconnect the Bluetooth. Here. There we go. Let me just turn off the Bluetooth. Bam. Got that turned off. Okay, here we go. You're going to be able to hear it.
No woman, no cry. Little darling, don't shed no tear. No woman, no cry. Okay, so a lot of beautiful imagery. Oh my god, this is fucking beautiful. Ah! 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 Wait, somebody's pregnant. A baby's born. Underwater. Ah! There's a whale. Oh, with warriors? Holy shit. A helipad? What is going on here? We got Shuri with Ironheart. This is oh, it's Namor! Oh, fuck.
Queen of the most powerful nation in the world! And my entire family is gone! Have I not given everything?
Fuck. Ah! Ah! Jesus. Wow. 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 Ah! Man! That's awesome. That's some awesome shit, man. Goddamn, man. Goddamn. 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 Fuck. Fuck. That was amazing. That was I can't wait. I'm gonna watch that a lot. I'm gonna watch that quite a bit, man. Ah. Ah. Oh man, that was good. Oh god, that was good. Let me see. Oh, okay. So I'm gonna watch the the She-Hulk trailer now. I'm sure will not make me cry. All right, She-Hulk trailer, baby.
Wow! Jeez, what the hell, man?
Still in control, no overwhelming feelings of rage.
No, a normal amount of rage.
You do revert back to Gen 4 when you sleep.
Was the air horn really necessary?
For comedy, absolutely. This is a multi-year journey you're about to embark on.
Oh boy, oh boy.
Yeah. Who's your best friend?
Mickey.
Spandex. Spandex is your best
Hulk
friend.
and She-Hulk together is
Being a
gonna be
Hulk
awesome.
asks for balance.
Hulk training her is fucking great.
You have so much more to learn.
Dude, this is a Hulk show. This is a Hulk show.
So I'm clearly nailing it at all these things.
She looks great.
If you want to go back to life as a lawyer, I respect that.
He doesn't mean that.
She talks to the camera.
More and more eccentric superhumans are coming out of the woodwork. We are going to launch a division for them, and I want the She-Hulk to be the face of it.
More eccentric superhuman.
Namaste.
I have a serious conflict of interest. This man tried to kill my cousin, Bruce.
Yeah, that's quite all right.
Oh. People only care because I'm representing Emil Blonsky. I think they care because they're like, hey, that girl's great. Jen, do your thing. God, I really like this outfit.
She could change at will.
I'm not proud of this.
Miss Walters, we answer to a higher power.
Oh,
Our universe
it's
is
Wong.
on the edge of a precipice.
I am a lawyer. We do things by the book.
The Book of Ashanti.
No, the book of American laws.
Whether you like it or not, you're now a superhero.
Let's do this. You know that friend you had in high school? Who was way cooler than you were, attractive, got all the attention from everyone. Hello.
I think I'm jealous. Is
minute.
that what I'm feeling?
Who did I see there? This is gonna be good, man. She-Hulk is gonna be good. Who is that? Who? No! Dude, they showed Daredevil at the end. Fuck! That's fucking awesome, man. That is fucking awesome. God damn it, that's fucking great. She-Hulk and Daredevil. Jesus H. This is great shit. This is some great shit. It's not often we get multiple fucking shits in one day. I mean, this is crazy. This may not be over. We may get more stuff. Let me see. No new trailers yet. Okay, let me see if there's any updates from the panel itself. I'm going to be watching those two things again very soon. Neymar, and that's a wrap, folks. Onward to D23. So no mention of X-Men, no mention of mutants. Everything that I've mentioned, we talked about the end of Phase 4, Wakanda Forever, Phase 5, and then Phase 6, culminating the multiverse saga with 2 Avengers films, which is fucking awesome. And yeah. Wow. First of all, fucking Wakanda Forever. Holy fucking shit. She-Hulk. Holy fucking shit. This is great. It's wonderful, folks. We're so lucky. Anyway, glad I was able to live stream my reaction to the panel. This is very great stuff. I'm glad I was able to document these moments. And now I can refer back to them and think about how fun it was to have these revelations be shared with all of you out there. Anyway, I want to wish everybody the best possible end of weekend, beginning of your week. Hope everything goes well. I hope things are going as well as they possibly can be for all of you. And I'll be back. I'll be back to talk about more of this stuff as further developments reveal themselves, because they're coming. You know they're coming, and the mutants are here, and it's fucking awesome. Anyway, I just want to remind you that
that, like I always do, that if you haven't already, you better put an X in that box because ain't nobody checking me. Take care, folks. Bye-bye.